Hey guys, sorry for the really crappy video and the fact that I've got my thing in the background. There isn't really anything I can do about it. I had to give up my laptop as I previously said, and I also found out that my new laptop, well not new laptop but one that I haven't used in a while, can't connect to the internet, so I'm forced to use it on the desktop and it's really noisy, so I'm really sorry about that, but you're going to have to deal with it at least for this video. I'm hoping that I might be able to get the other laptop working with the internet, because then at bare minimum I can at least give you something that's not going to have tons of noise in the background. But I wanted to give you guys my first impressions of Skyfall. So I'm probably going to talk about tons of things for quite a lot in detail, but it's not really a review because I'm going to do a review at the end of the year, because I'm going to do a top 5 movies of the year, and I will honestly be shocked if I can find between now and then like 5 movies that I think are better than this. So this is probably going to be in there, so I'm not going to do like a full review in like a week's time like I was thinking, so yeah. So anyway, this was a crazy good movie, and I think probably the best testament to how crazy this was I was stressed and I was depressed and I was on the verge of crying yesterday because I had to give up my laptop, which I know is completely first world problems, but it's really annoying because I was just like, oh, I want to do creative stuff and make art, and now I've essentially lost my means of being able to create art because I can't draw at all. So there's that. But I saw this movie and it just, everything else, all the woes of the day, kind of just out of the head. I love this movie so much. So first things first, we have the opening sequence. It's very actiony, it's very in your face. I really like how, and keep in mind I've only seen the Daniel Craig ones, but I really like how, because I get the feeling that the Daniel Craig ones are a lot grittier and a lot more modern and a lot more in your face than like the older Bonds. Like, I mean, I can't really be certain, of course, but I really like that they kind of use these really interesting means of doing things. I really liked what happened near the end of the opening sequence is Bond is shot by her his ally Eve, who's along for the mission, and M's just like, take the shot, and then she takes the shot and hits Bond. And I really like how it's used a bit later, because they have those kind of quips about each other. Like, for example, like Bond sees Eve like a good portion of time later, like in the new MI6, and she's just like, oh, I want to do field work, and Bond's just like, oh, you better warn me when you're going to do some field work, wouldn't want you to hit me, or something like that. And it was really cute. I really like those kind of quip-based romances. I love Spitfire. The opening credits, they are gorgeous, I gotta say. There are some people who, I think some of the critics are like, oh, that's really shitty. I think in some ways it's good, and in other ways it's bad. Technically speaking, like speaking about the technical prowess involved, it is very good. However, I don't really like the stylization at times. I feel that in comparison to Casino Royale, Casino Royale was way better, even though it wasn't like HD or anything. It was kind of like cartoony, but I really liked the imagery and the idea of it. Whereas in this one, it gets a bit repetitive at times, and that kind of annoyed me. But having said that, after I saw the movie, I really appreciate the opening sequence a lot more, because you understand what some of the scenes are in the opening sequence, and it makes a lot more sense, and it's a lot more relevant to the movie. Beautiful stuff. Following this, we get to see a bit more of M, and that's what I love about this movie. Amongst other things, we get to see a lot more of the other characters. Like, I know that obviously James Bond movies, the main character is James Bond, and I'm not saying that, oh no, these are bad movies because they've only got James Bond, But because the thing is, most of the time the attention is diverted away from the character and their emotions and stuff, and is focused more towards stopping the bad guy, having cool action sequences, stuff like that. And one of the good things in Casino Royale, I think, was the relationship between Bond and the Bond girl. In this one, we see a lot more of M. She's put a lot more under pressure, and she's obviously not going to be the sole focus of the film, but a lot more emphasis is put on her. She's essentially at one point told, "Oh, you're a hack, you should retire." And I actually hated that character at that point. Not M, the character that said that to her. That character, actually, he was kind of a douchebag, but like halfway through he defended M, and then I just went, "Oh, you're cool, I like you now." So we get to see a lot more of M. We got to see a bit of Q. Given that I've only seen the Daniel Craig ones, this is my first introduction to Q. I know about him. He's just like the gadget guy. In this one, the gadgets were very subtle. He essentially had a gun that could only be used by Bond because it had like a palm reader or something, and that played in like a little bit in one of the scenes. And the second one was just like a distress signal thing, and I kind of like it that they played it a bit low key. As he said, like, "Oh, we don't have exploding pens or anything," and I think I like it because it's more modern. It's a bit more realistic. Admittedly, I still would have liked to see a bit more. Like, I was hoping there'd be something like, "Oh, okay, we've got a phone and there's an app and it lets you hack stuff," or something like that. But I do like that they took a more subtle approach with this film. He's used a bit more often later, trying to hack stuff, trying to help Bond track down the villain. The villain, oh, I love the villain. This is probably going to sound so sacrilegious, but I actually compare him somewhat to the Joker, in that he is a bit crazy, but I think the main thing that makes him so good is his interaction with the hero. In this case, it was M. So like he was like a previous agent, and M like betrayed him or something, and the only thing that he had was like a cyanide pill, and he didn't get killed, and it just like screwed up his internal stuff, and as a result he tries to go kill her. Good stuff. What else was there? The locations, I think, were fantastic. I loved Shanghai because they had lots of lights and stuff. It was a bit distracting, I'll admit, in some circumstances, but I think in others it was a lot better. For example, when we had Bond searching through one of the bad guys' things, there'd just be the change in light every so often, and it'd be like blue and then dark, blue and then dark. I thought that was kind of cool. I liked some of the other ones. I don't really know it. Oh, actually, the one that the ending scene, not the ending scene, but the kind of final showdown, it's at Skyfall, which actually that actually explains some of the song. Oh, wow. At Skyfall. But that was really cool. I don't really know if anything has been done like about Bond's past, but it is very much cemented in Bond's past. We didn't really know like tons of stuff. All we knew is that he was an orphan, and that's where he grew up, and apparently there's this guy who's like King something, who was like the groundskeeper or something, and that's where the final showdown is. Is there anything else? Bond girls. Ooh, I liked the Bond girls. Eve, as I previously said, I really liked their kind of interaction. It was a bit like it was a bit cute, and it was a bit. It kind of reminds me of Spitfire in terms of they're both kind of characters that won't screw around. I made this really good scene where they were doing like shaving with a straight razor, and I really liked that. Admittedly, that's half because out of all the possible things that you can have a girl doing. I'm not saying there are too many scenes, I think, with Bond. Well, I mean just in general, and I know that I'm going to sound so not hetero and everybody's going to disagree with me, but I get kind of sick of just like every scene like he's in bed with someone and I'm just like, yeah. Whereas this one, it had a bit of, it didn't have danger, but it had a bit of intrigue, I guess, into it instead of just like sex. The other Bond girl, which is the girl on the bad side, she was also really powerful. I can't really decide which of the two I prefer. I think I kind of prefer Eve because they've got a bit more chemistry, whereas with this character, she was kind of crying out for help. She was like a sex slave or something, and then and there was a scene where bad things happened to her. It was really hard to watch. It wasn't hard to watch in the sense of they're just like beating the hell out of her. It's more there was a really tense scene and you're like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And it was really difficult because I was just like, no. It was powerful. What else did I like? I didn't like actually the way that the villain was captured. It was kind of understandable given that he broke out later, but when he was captured it just seemed a bit too quick. Which I guess kind of he escaped, so it kind of makes sense. Is there anything else? There was a bit of politics in this. I didn't actually mind it, which is surprising because I usually hate politics with a passion, but I think it was handled well. It was something that was really kind of basic politics, like it was like the names of these people have been revealed. We think that your jurisdiction is irrelevant and we should just do computerized things. And then M's like, oh no, that is completely bull. There are people lurking in the shadows that are the people that I'm afraid of. And I think it was really good. It was good because you had the action, and then you had Bond running, being like, oh my god, he's gonna kill him. And then you've got M just saying like this quote about strength and strength of will and stuff like that. And I think it was a good mix of drama and action. And the other thing that I can really say is the ending. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but it is so sad. Like the end of the final confrontation, I should say, because there is a bit afterwards. It is so sad. In many ways, it's probably the only way that the movie could have ended in a truly, well, I mean, maybe not, but it was a truly satisfying ending, though a very heartbreaking one. And I really liked how Bond, he killed the villain, and he mentions this thing that was mentioned by the villain at the very start when he's first introduced, and I couldn't help but going, it's come full circle. As for the very ending, I don't know how I feel about it. We're introduced to two characters who are kind of almost cliches of the Bond series. Like, I mean, I already knew, the first one, we find out who Moneypenny is. I knew that she was involved somehow with Bond. I had to look it up because I haven't seen the previous ones. Admittedly, it was a bit weird. It's especially sad because she's essentially saying, okay, I'm going from field work to just having a desk job, and that's a bit depressing, especially for her character. So I was like, why? I liked your character just being like the way that you are. Even though there are definitely enough quips from Bond. And the last character we find out about is it's the final kind of, I guess, evolution of the character that was being all mean to M. His name is Mallory. He really annoyed me at the start because he was such a bitch to M. Then he defends her partway through and gets involved and ends up with like a broken arm from the firefight and everything that ensued. and his final kind of stage, I guess, at the very end of the movie, which I'm not going to reveal because that will ruin not only his character but a bunch of other things. I don't know, in a way it was good that the position that he filled was filled by him and not some like random person, because that would have made me, I would have like been, I don't know, hurling a mace or flail or something. But by the same token, it kind of annoyed me that he took that role, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it, but it did kind of annoy me. And that's pretty much all I can say on the topic. I'm gonna have like a full official review probably in my top 5. So that will be around the end of the year. Hopefully I would have worked out how I can get my camera to work so it will be good quality and everything. But that's pretty much all I can say. Very, very, very good movie. I highly recommend it. It's got great, it's not only got the action, but they've added character development and stuff like that, and it just makes it marvelous. So I hope you go see it. If you do, please put how you felt about it in the comments, and we can talk about some Bond. Subscribe, like, and have a good day.